Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Communities Live here on Sheffield Live 93.2 FM. And we have money saving expert Gemma. Good afternoon.
Hello, you okay?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yes, not too bad at all, thanks.
Now, we have some information here. We have we have got some new parents we've got some people who are becoming that like new parents recently. And it's amazing what I'm reading here that parents lose 3.1 million hours of sleep every week due to nighttime nappy leaks. But I can imagine that it's actually more than 3.1 million hours a week.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear it like that, it almost seems a shocking number, doesn't it? But when you think about how much a newborn wakes up and how many sort of poonamis they're going to have in the middle of the night, it. I suppose when you actually look at it, they're waking up regularly, aren't they? And
Sure.
that is what sort of we're talking about today is the impact of losing sleep. So obviously it makes you grumpy, it makes you tired. If you don't sleep well, the baby doesn't sleep well. And I remember being a mum and, my little boy Brody, he'd have like a poonami, it'd go all the way up his back. I'd have to change the bedding, I'd have to change him. And obviously that is all the washing and everything, which is why I think it's great that Pampers they've brought out now a new stop and protect pocket. And I just think it's so good for mums to know about that, 'cause it stops the poo sort of going up the back of the baby's back, and having to change all that stuff. Because obviously I'm money mum, anything that you can do where it saves you time and energy. So I just think it's great.
It says in the UK alone, 1.2 million parents are sleep deprived, like you said, due to punamis or nappy leaks. Again, that's a shocking number, but I can imagine there's got to be more than that.
Yeah, and I also, it's tough anyway when especially when you've got a newborn, or maybe you're a first time mum, or even like you've got a newborn and another little one or an older child, whatever the situation is, it's so difficult anyway being a mum. Although it's absolutely amazing, there's some really amazing things obviously about it, and you love your children more than anything. But when you are losing sleep and you're feeling tired and you're feeling worn out, it puts pressure, doesn't it, on your mental health and
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
cope the next day. And I know for myself, being a mum, sleep is the most important thing. If I get a good night's sleep, I'm a lot happier, put it that way. Otherwise, I'm pretty grumpy if I don't.
You know what? I'm not a parent myself, but I can absolutely agree with you, Gemma, on that. So, I love a good night's sleep. But I mean, as a lot of, but a lot of people say this. One in three actually confirmed that they would actually give up a luxury item like either a Premier League football ticket or a Michelin star dinner or a spa night just to get one decent night's sleep.
Yeah, I mean, and I can actually see where they're coming from. At the end of the day, sleep is something we need. It's like food and water, and it's I would happily give up, a meal. If you actually speak to mums when you have like Mother's Day and things like that, they'll often hear them say, all I want is a good night's sleep and for my baby to sleep through and be happy and dry at night. So I completely understand why that is the case, because I definitely would anything to get a good night's sleep. To be honest with you.
We're looking for. Is there like any alternatives as well? That parents could actually do.
In what regards? Sorry. In
Sorry, like because to try to stop like pool armies and stuff like that, and do like the extra work like cleaning up and everything. Is there like alternatives that people can do?
Yeah, I mean, as I said at the start, there's Pampers have brought out a nappy with a stop and protect pocket, which is just fabulous, because when they do have a poonami, what happens is on regular nappy, obviously it goes all the way up the baby's back, and then you tend to find that you've obviously then got to change all the baby, and if they're in bed, you've got to change the bedding. That causes washing, that causes more work. So this literally, as they need to go to the toilet, it's got a pocket at the back and it stops it sliding up the back, which is great. And also, what I want to point out, being money mum, is that if you've got to get it if you don't have it. The Pampers app is fantastic because there's coupons and vouchers on it. But at the moment, they've got a £6 off voucher when you download the Pampers app, to give you £6 off a packet of those nappies, which I just think's great. Especially for mums, they're going to get a good night's sleep. They're getting a great discount, and I just think it's really good and so important for as many mums and dads to get this offer as possible.
And I want to ask, for like new parents who are currently suffering from sleep deprivation. Is there any help that they can get? So, like, they could try to get a good night's sleep, or if there's any help out on how to, well, not say prevent it, but try to keep calm as much as possible, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I turned to sort of Instagram platforms and things like that because if you go on there, there's a lot of sleep coaches out there, and it's finding one that sort of works for you. And they talk about this the window of time that they sleep and how to help them sleep. So I definitely think reaching out, and even if it's not like a sleep coach, maybe speak to other friends and family members and find out what they've done, because I think communicating, because it could be what worked for one child doesn't work for the other child, but you might have a parent that comes over to you and says, look, we tried giving them a bath before bed and we helped that settle them, or we tried feeding them at a certain time, or we made sure we always gave them a clean nappy before bed, or we did this routine or that routine, or we decided to put them bed a bit later. And then it just helps you when you communicate with other parents. You something that you might think, oh, that's a really great idea. Actually, I'm going to try that one. I just think communication is the key, and we can all learn from each other. We all learn every day. So, especially if it's your first child, you're learning every single solitary day, aren't you?
Sure. I mean, and also, I mean, I've got to ask you this as well. I mean, as a money saving expert, what would you recommend to new parents?
New parents, I would say, don't stress out and think everything has to be brand new. Look at your local charity shops, go to sort of your church groups. A lot of the time you've got to pay for courses up front. Don't do that. If you're struggling, go to your local communities, your local church group for weekly meetings, because I think it's really important socializing and getting out. Don't go out and pay out for expensive coffees every single day. Make sure if you've got, like, there's a group, maybe there's 4 or 5 of you that have met through having the baby, have rotation. One come to the house one week, one the following week, and look at things like toy rotation as well. So if you've got a sort of a toddler at home, stop buying them loads and loads of toys. Get sort of 7 boxes out. You can pick them up cheap. Anywhere will do, and literally separate them. So then on Monday you're getting out a box of toys, putting it away, and then Tuesday they've got a new box of toys, because then you're rotating them and they're seeing new things every single day, and you're not having to constantly buy new things because they've got sort of short memories at that age. So you can easily rotate them, and they're like, oh, I've not seen this in a while. So it's about, you don't need to buy everything new. I bought all the toys for the kids secondhand and stuff like that.
And I mean, we're coming near to the end of the interview right now because we're quickly running out of time. So, I mean, for my listeners at home who are new parents, and what advice would you give to them?
I would say enjoy every moment of it. It goes so, so, so quickly. It is extremely difficult. The lack of sleep, also the lack of money. A lot of the time you're on maternity leave, or you've dropped down to one wage, or it's changing situations, or you've just got another mouth to feed. It is a short amount of time, and you can sort of get through it. It is hard, but just literally savor every single moment, because before you know it, you blink and they're 5, and then you blink and then they're going to senior school like my son next year. And it's just really taking in those moments and soaking them up.
Gemma, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.